Welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to discuss one of the most useful library in Python, that is Pandas. So let's begin. So Pandas is one of the Python library which is mostly used in data science, and it is used for data manipulation and analysis, and it offers data structures and operations for manipulating numerical tables and time series. So we are going to use different functions that are provided in Pandas library and see how it works and how we can use it for data manipulation. So let's begin. So first, what we are going to do, we are going to import the library, import pandas as pd, and we are going to also import numpy as np. Now, if you want to check the version of this pandas library, you can just print out pd.version. So the current version of this library is 1.3.4. Now let's create an array, and we are going to print out the series using the pandas. So first I'm going to create an array s1 equal to pd.series, and we are going to print out s1. So make sure you write this s in capital. So here we have the indexes, and these are the values of the array, and the type of this series is integer 64. Now if you want to change the index of this series, so how you can do this, it's very simple. First I define the index. You can enter any type of index, like it can be a character, it can be a number. So here let's create index for this series. So I name the index as order equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I want to start from number 1, and I create another series as 2 pd.series, which will take array as the values, and index equal to order. So the index will follow the order pattern, this order array, and then I will print out as 2, and here you can see that now the index is changed, so it is starting from 1. Now let's create another series of random numbers. So here I'm going to use the numpy library. I create a variable n, np dot random dot randn, and I create 5 values, and index I set to characters a, b. I create the series as 3 equal to pd dot series, and here the values will be from variable n, and index will be the index variable, and I will print out as 3. So you can notice that the type of this series is now float 64, and index is now abcd, and we have 5 random values. Now we will see how we can create a series from the dictionary. So you will define a dictionary, and then you create a series from that dictionary. So from there we can take the key as index and values as the values for the series. So here I create a dictionary d equal to curly braces, and here I define the key and the value s4 equal to s4 dot pd dot series, and here I will use this dictionary and print out s4. So here we have created a series of type integer 64-bit. Now let's use the series that we have created before, the s1, and here we will change the index to the letters. So here I type s1 dot index. First I'm going to print out the s1. So here we got the s1, and now s1 dot index, I will change it to a, all the letters in capital. Now if you want to print out any selected values, like for example if I want to print out only D and E, so here I type s1 from -2 till the end. So starting from -2 will be the D, because the last element is -1, -2, and let's print out this. So we have got only the last two values, starting from 1 till 3. So here I have started from 1, which is B, and n till 3. It is actually n minus 1, 2. So the index 0, 1, and 2. So I have printed out till this letter C. If I type here 0, then we got 3 values. In the same way, we can start from -4 till end, or -5, which will start from the first. So both are same. If you if you don't type anything, it will include all the values. Till -1, if I type here, it will start from A till -1. So it will exclude the value E. Now we are going to see how you can append two series. So it is very simple. Like for example, let's append the series 2 and series 3 we have created before. First we are going to print out s2. What is s2? And here we have the s3. So we are going to append these two series. So you can notice that the type of this series is integer 64, whereas the type here is float 64. Now let's create another series as 5 equal to, and here we are going to append s3 to s2. s2 dot append s3, and we will print out s5, and here we got the result. Now for example, if you want to drop any of the value from this series, for example if I want to drop this value, the last one, so I type here s5 dot drop E. So it will remove the last element. Now let's move on and let's see how we can use arithmetic functions in series. So first I'm going to create two arrays, array 1 equal to, and this array will include the values, the even values, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16. And I create another array which will contain the values, odd values, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. And here I'm going to create series from this array, s6 equal to pd dot series array 1, and s7 equal to pd dot series array 2. And here I'm going to print out s6 and S7. This print function for giving a space, and here I'm going to print S7. So we have created two series. Now let's perform some arithmetic operations on these two series. So in S6 I will add S7. So we have added, like in the series 6, S6, we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 8 values, and here we have got 5 values. But you can notice that only we have added the first 5 values, and for the 6 7 8 we have none, because the value in the S7 is less than the values from the S6. So that is why we got 3 null values here. Similarly, we can subtract the values. Subtract S7 from S6. We can multiply also and divide. Now let's see some more functions related to mathematics, like we can also calculate the median, the maximum, the minimum values from the series. So for example, here I'm going to calculate the median in the, for example, in the series 6, S6. So here I type print, I want to find out the median, S6 dot median. I also need to print out the maximum value, S6 dot max, and the minimum value, S6 dot min. So here we got the values. If I print out the S6, so here we got the median 9. So between 8 and 10 we got 9. So the median is 9. The maximum value is 16 and the minimum value is 2. So now we are going to see the data frame function in the pandas library. So it is very useful function and widely used, and we will see it is actually a table in which we have defined rows and columns, headings, and the values are defined in the cells. So we are going to create table, a data frame in Python. So let's see how we can do this. But first we are going to create an array, and the array of dates, like from today is like 19th of July. So from 19th of July till the number of periods that we want to add in an array. So let's see how we can do this. I create a variable dates equal to pd dot date range. Date range is a function of pandas, and here I define the date. For example, today is the year. First I type the year, then I enter the month and the date. Date is 19. So here I type how many periods I want, for example 6, and I'm going to print out dates like this. So from 19 to 24 we have got 6 dates, and the type of this array is date times 64. You can also type here today, which will return date as well as the time. So here you can see we have got dates as well as the time. Now let's create a data frame, and we will use these dates there. So I type here df equal to pd dot data frame, and here I type np dot, the values in this data frame will be the random values. So I type here np, the numpy library, and random dot random, and I need 6 rows and 4 columns, and the index will be the dates. So let's print out df. So here we got the data frame. So you can see that it is like an Excel. We have rows, we have columns, and the values in the cell. Now, one thing you have noticed that we have got the columns starting from 0, 1, 2, and 3. And if we want to change the name of these columns, we can also do this. Like we can define here the columns equal to, we want the list of letters A, B, C, D. And here we go. So we have replaced numbers with these letters. Now let's move on and let's see some like advanced functions using pandas, and we are going to work specifically on data frame. So first I'm going to create some data, like the data will be in the dictionary form. So I type here animal. Animal will be the name of the key, and here I define some values. Cat, I'm typing the same words for some reason. I will show you that how we try to manage the data here. And here I add another key, age 2.5, 3.5, and if you want to define a null character, a null number, so I type here np.nan 2, 7, and 3, and here I enter another key. Okay, now I'm going to define some labels that will be work as index for this data frame. So here I add the letters. Now let's create data frame. pd dot data frame index will be the labels. Okay, so here is a small mistake. Labels not defined. df3, and here we go. So we have created a data frame. Now let's work on this data frame and like how we can edit this data, how we can replace and delete some values. So we are going to see such things on this data frame. So first let's check the type of this data frame. So I type here df3.dtypes. So it is like the column animal is the object, age is float 64, visit integer 64, and priority object. So the words are like objects here. Now first let's print out the first 5 values from this data frame. So I use the function head and I want to print out only the 5 values. So we got the 5 values from this data frame. And if I want to print out the value from the end, so I type here tail. So the last 3 values we have printed out. If I want to check the index of this data frame, so these are the indexes. If I want to check the columns, and if I print out only the values, so these are only the value. It is the object type. Here if you want to only return the values column, like the value columns are these two, which are actually the age and the visit. So if you want to only return these two columns, so you can type here the name of the data frame and the describe function. Now if you want to return the mean, the minimum, the maximum value, the standard deviation of the columns which holds the integer or floating number, like these two columns which are actually the age and the visit, holds the numerical values. So if you want to see the result like the minimum and maximum value in these two columns, you can just type the describe function and it will return all the necessary values from this data frame. So here I type df3.describe. So here you can see it has returned the count number, the mean, the standard deviation, what is the 25% of the value, the 50%, the 75%, the maximum value. So these are the basic calculations that we require in data frame. So using the describe function, we can print out these values. Now, if I want to transpose this data frame, so I use df3.t, and here you can see. So rows are now columns and columns are now rows. You can also sort these values, like you can sort by age, you can sort by visits. So like for example, here I type df3 dot sort values, and here I type by age. So starting from the minimum value and reaching till 7. So here we can sort it by age. If I change it to visit, you can also sort it by the animal, like the least letter, which is C, till the letter M. So C come first and the M at the last. Now, like before, we have seen that how you can print out the specific values in the data frame in the series. So in the same way, you can print the specific values, like you can define a range, and between that range, the values will be returned. So for example, here I type df3, and starting from the index 2 till n-1, which is 4. So we have returned the C and D, and you can also use the ilog function. It will bring the same result. Now for example, here if I sort it by age and I also enter the range from the second value till the n-1, the value at the second index. So from the second index is the value A till n-1, which is B. So here I press enter and we got these two values. Now here, if you want to only print out any selected columns, like for example, if I want to print age and the visit, so here I type df3 age and the visits not in index, sorry, here it is visit. So here we got the output. Now if you want to copy this data frame df3 to any other variable, so here you can like type df4 equal to df3 dot copy. You can run the copy function, and here I print out df4. So we got the same output. We can also check here that what values in this data frame are null. So we can see a couple of values that are null. The first one is this one, the second one, and here we have got only 2, I think. So here for example, I type df3 and I use the function is null. So it will print out true or false the boolean values. And here you can see in this row, in the row D and column age, we got here true. So if we check here, and yes, we got a null value here in this data frame. Similarly, only the two values are null here in the age column. Now, for example, if you want to update this data frame, for example, here I want to insert a value in this null area, or if I want to change any other value, let's see, first print out df3 what we have. And for example, if I want to change this 2 to 3, so here I type df3 dot location, and here I defined the row which is F and the column which is H, and here I want to change this value to 3. Now I will print out the df3. So let's see, and here we go. So we have replaced 2 with 3. So without using the describe function, which is used to calculate different mathematical functions like mean, maximum, minimum, if you want to only print out the mean of a single column, like for example, here I type, if I type here df3 dot mean, so let's see, so here we got a type error, and it is returning something like the mean of the age is 3.5 and the visit is 1.9. But here if I type df3 and I specify the column age and I want to print out mean, so now error is now removed and we got the mean. And here I can also insert the visit. We got two values. We can also like use the sum function to calculate the sum of these two columns. So the sum of age column is 28.5 and the sum of visit is 19. Now we are going to see how we can use some functions related to characters, related to strings like lowercase, uppercase in the pandas series. So first we are going to create a series with a variable name strings equal to pd.series, and here I define some values. Now let's print out strings. So here we got the output. Now if I want to change this to lowercase, so all the letters here which are in capital, I want to change it to lower. So here I type strings dot str dot lower. Now all the letters are in small. Now let's see in data frame 4, which is copied from df3. Now for example, if I want replace all the null values with some integer, so here I type df4 dot fill na with 4. So let's see, and here we go. So we have replaced the null values with an integer. Now let's create another data frame df5 equal to, which will copy the values, copy all the data frame from df3, and we are going to print out df5. So here what we are going to do, we are going to first calculate the mean from this age value, and then what we are going to, we are going to insert the null values and replace these null values with the mean. So it's very simple, like I create a variable mean age equal to df5, and I want to calculate the mean of this column, and here I type mean. And finally, what we are going to do, we are going to select the age column, and we are going to find the null values, and we will fill it with the mean age that we have just calculated in the last line. So here we have got, and now I'm going to print out this, and here you can see. So here we got two mean values, the first one and the second one. Now let's create, now if I want to, first let's print out df5. Now if I want to drop these null values, like I don't want to see these rows, so here I will type d5 dot drop na, and which one I have to drop? Every row which contains the value null. So here I press shift and enter, and you can see the row D, which has the null value, is now removed, as well as the row G. Now if I want to remove the rows which contains a null value, so here the row D and the row H, these two rows contain the null value. So if I want to remove these two rows, what I will type here, I will type here df5 dot drop na, and I will type here how any, which means any of the rows which contains the null value will be removed. So let's run this, and here you can see, so we have removed row D and row H. Now if I want to convert this data frame into CSV file, so let's work on the df3 data frame 3, which is the original one, and if I want to convert it to CSV file, so what I type here, I will type here df3 dot to underscore CSV. I type here animal dot CSV, correct, and let's run this. So we have created a CSV file, and where it is saved, let's see. So here it is, animal.csv, and here we got the Excel sheet. Now let's read this CSV file. So if I want to read this, I create a new variable where this CSV file will be uploaded and it will be printed out. So I create a new variable dfanimal equal to pd dot read CSV, and which CSV I have to read is the animal.csv, and I'm going to print out this variable dfanimal. So here we got the output. Now in the same way, you can also convert your data frame into Excel sheet. So I convert the same df3 dot to Excel, and here I name it animal dot xlsx, and which sheet I want to create is the sheet 1 in the Excel file. Sheet name equal to sheet 1. First run this, and let's see, we have created an Excel sheet, XLS format, and here we go. So you can notice the difference in the CSV file and the Excel file. Now let's read this Excel file, and here I'm going to type df animal 2, this is the second variable, and here I type pd dot read Excel, and what I want to read is the animal.xlsx, and from sheet number 1, and let's print out df animal 2. So here we got the output. So I hope you have understood that how we can get started with the pandas library, and we have seen how we can create series and how we can use different functions related to series. And we have also seen data frames, that how we can create data frame and work with it. And in the last we have seen that how you can convert your data frame into CSV or Excel file. So that's all for this lecture. If you have any questions, you may ask me in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next one.